Dreadnought. Historia Jamaldis. I didn't repackage this one. It was sent direct from the sender. Ooh. It's a book. Hi, Robbie. Hope you had a good Easter celebration. Here we go, says Jay. What's in the box? Hello, Ingir. Hello, Sergey. Sergey, nice to see you. Oh my God. Start here. The Hammer and the Eagle, Icons of Warhammer. I recognise this. This is Felix from Warhammer Fantasy. And this is either Gorn or Kane. Yep, I think I'm correct. In the grim darkness of the far future and in the vastness of the mortal realms, there are those characters who stand out amongst others. Within these pages, and collected for the first time, are stories of some of the Black Library's best loved and well-known heroes and villains. On deadly battlefields, Commissaire Ibram Gaunt leads his regiment, the Tanith Ghosts, in a desperate battle for survival. On Ultramarines, Captain Uriel Ventress stands as a bulwark. That's not how you pronounce that, is it? A bulwark against the forces of chaos in the shadowy underbelly of the Imperium. Inquisitors, Crowl and Covenant ply their clandestine trade. Throughout embattled lands, the realm of gods and monsters, Vampire Queen Neferata seeds dark plots to secure her power, while Lord Celestant Gardas Steelsoul is a paragon of virtue and honour. What's he doing in this universe? Driving back the pestilent hordes of the plague god. These are just some of the legends, the light and darkness, the icons of the Warhammer worlds. So many favourite authors. The Hammer and the Eagle is an anthology of short stories by authors such as Dan Abnett, Graham McNeil, Chris Raitt, Sandy Mitchell, Rachel Harrison, Aaron Dembski-Bowden, ADB, to you and I, Guy Haley, Gav Thorpe, David Annadale, and more. Well, let's have a look at the track listing. Ooh, so the index. Oh, well, maybe we can try my other thingy. Is it going to work? Are you alive? No. Gosh darn it. I set the whole other camera up and it doesn't want to do it. So the index is set like Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Fantasy to us old timers. I'm not really an old timer, but oh my God, Jim, thank you for the note. Whose book have we got? Love you with all my heart, Mum. Oh, Jim, you might not know it, but that is the Mystical Universe signal I needed today. Oh, and look, Mum's drawn that as well. Oh, so I guess that Jordan Sorcery is my uncle. So Historia Jamaldis is my mum. Oh, I hope they read this. They did. Look, the spine's being cracked. How lovely. It has the prequel short to Night Lords, says Jim. Is he a slayer? I only know old lore. Gottrex. That's Gottrex, not Felix. Well, it's going to be one of the two, wasn't it? Jason says, thanks to Ian and myself, he began building up a collection of Black Library books. 14 books. My toddler calls them robot books. Astartes are big robots to him. I mean, it tracks. So what have we got? We've got Age of Sigmar, Warhammer and Warhammer 40k. So guess which section I'm going to like best. It's going to be the Age of Sigmar, I'm pretty sure, because I'm a fantasy gal. Look at all these writers. Danny Ware. Nick Kime. I haven't read a Nick Kime yet. Loads of Chris Raitt, John French. I've been emailing John French. I haven't read any of his yet. Very exciting. And maybe we'll find out who owns this book and we will have a video chat with them. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? They need to do more book combos of 40k and AOS. I had no idea this was a thing. Neither did I. It was published in 2020. So it must have been a pre-COVID publication. Oh. So we are back with Deliverance Lost by the mighty Gav Thorpe. You may have remembered that all the poor little Raven Guards have started mutating. And this is the most horrible... This is why I hate Alpha Legion. Why Alpha Legion and Miramanga will never be friends. Okay, so for those of you who haven't got to this section of the book, when the Raven Guard left Isstvan 5, there was some horrible Alpha Legions who stole the faces of the dead fallen Raven Guard and infiltrated the Raven Guard legions. So this is a sleeper, Alfarius, who's been activated. Oh, El Buato, they're not mutating, they're just developing differently. I agree. Just as the noise of the shell detonations reached Alfarius, a tickling started in his skull, a double pulse different from the one he'd felt before. He knew immediately what it meant. Omegan had remotely activated the tracking function. The implant was now homing in on the devices of the other Alpha Legionnaires. It started, Alfarius thought, his heart's racing. The Alpha Legion were making their move. He had to get into position and meet with the others. Increasing the magnification of his sight, Alfarius saw 4 columns of vehicles and infantry snaking through the ruins where the cannon had fired, passing between flames and rising smoke from the double impact. There were transports and tanks, flanked by 3 armoured walkers, each 20 metres tall. Yay, Titans! One of the warhounds, the walkers, were clearly Scout-class Titans, was enveloped by a shimmering dome of purple and black as its void shells collapsed from the initial macro cannon bombardment. The other 2 warhounds raised their weapons and returned fire as shots from Turret 2 shrieked across Ravendelve to pound into the metal body of the compromised Titan. Alfarius hurled himself to the rockweed a moment before the cannonade erupted around him, showering him with stone-like shards and fragments of the plasteel reinforcing rods within the tower wall. 2 white beams lanced out of the shifting fog, punching through the armoured casement of the macro cannon. Propelling himself towards the door, Alfarius was engulfed by a storm of sparks and fiery debris from above, spitting and clattering on his armour. He hauled open the outer door and threw himself inside. Just want to warn you now, this gets brutal. He threw himself inside, slamming the armoured portal as another volley of shells hammered into the rampart where he'd only been 2 seconds before. Nord and Falco are down, Sergeant Dorr reported. Cannon is non-operational, withdrawing to central structure. There's nothing we can do from here. The tower shuddered again, from more impacts as the airlock cycled through the filtering process. Alfarius paced back and forth for a few seconds, waiting for the inner door to open. The interior of the tower had been plunged into darkness, lit only by sparks busting from fractured consoles. Dorr and Marco were waiting by the stairwell that linked the tower levels. What about the others? Asked Alfarius, glancing up to the landing above. Automatic fire suppression systems had flooded the gun casement, filling it with white, dusty smoke. Done for. Let's get moving, said Dorr, setting off down the steps. Muster at Station 4. Alfarius could not afford to be drawn into the general muster. His instructions from his Primarch were to get to the main gate. Go on, said Alfarius, waving Marco to follow Dorr. The Raven Guard turned his back on Alfarius as the... Just to warn you, this is horrible. So, nieces, if you're watching, stop watching. The Raven Guard turned his back on Alpharius as the Alpha Legionnaire unsheathed his combat knife. Alpharius drove his boot into the back of Marco's knee, forcing him down, even as he plunged the blade towards the side of the legionary's neck. He sawed the serrated edge through Marco's flesh, almost decapitating him. "What's the delay?" Dor shouted back up from the landing below. Alpharius dropped Marco's corpse to the floor, readied a grenade from his belt, and moved to the rail above the steps. "Take this," he called out, dropping the primed grenade. Dor caught it out of instinct. A slow second passed as he realised what he had done, the grenade falling from his fingers but too late. The grenade exploded, hurling the sergeant from his feet, razor-edged shrapnel cracking against his armour. Alpharius knew that a single grenade would not be enough to take down a legionary, and vaulted over the rail, bolter in one hand. He thudded onto the landing as Dor was pushing himself to one knee, chainsword already drawn. Gas hissed from split piping, an oily fibre bundle lubricant mixed with the blood leaking from the sergeant's midsection. Alpharius's first bolt hit Dor in the left side of his helm, where the communication pickup was located, silencing any warning he might broadcast. Dor roared and leapt at Alpharius, who dodged back a moment before the spinning teeth of the chainsword would have taken off his arm. He fired blind, hammering bolts into the sergeant's chest, the cascade of detonations sending Dor sprawling again. Alpharius followed up quickly, placing his next shot through the eye lens of Dor's crumpled helmet. The already damaged helm split apart as the bolt detonated inside, spraying blood and brain matter across the metal floor. Stopping only to prise the chainsword from Dor's dead grip, Alpharius headed down the tower. So, I mean, the art of, Gav Thorpe in tricking us by giving Alpharius moments of camaraderie, and Alpharius has the memories of the Raven Guard whose face he stole, and he feels strangely proud when he teaches his legion, an Alpha Legion fighting move. So Gav Thorpe played me. He made me think maybe, just maybe, Alpharius would have hesitated. But no, Alpharius and Omegan, these two operatives, they did it all. Oof. So, Molly says, "I'm sorry, I can barely hear y'all." Let's see if that's any louder, Molly. Let me know. Just to say, as I should always say, if you would like to see your name in green in the chat, please do help yourself to a Miramanga YouTube Space Marine membership. Historita Jamaldus, if he has the memories, it's because he ate some brains from the guy he replaced. That's not true, Jim. The book does not say that. That is not true. Quick, cycle back. I don't believe it. In the words of, whose song is that? Paul McCartney singing with Michael Jackson. Okay. Where does this gentleman first pop up? After Erebus. Oh yeah, I forgot at the beginning of the book, Erebus and Alpharius have a chat. Where does he turn up? I don't think he eats his brains. Anyway, I'll have to look for it now. And you get unicorns. Yes, you get unicorns if you join the Miramanga Space Marine YouTube membership. Okay. I've turned it right up, so that's probably going to really upset some people. You can't get that one new anymore. Didn't know there was any note included, said Historita Jamaldus. Nevermore, says the Raven in the chat. They often do little ones for Black Library Celebration. We're talking about the double book that I've just received from Historita Jamaldus at the same time as I'm just reading through the chat. If anyone's turned up and confused. Teenage Mutant Ninja Ravens, says Don. Sergey says, as a geneticist. Oh my God, geneticist in the chat. I must insist that it is accurate. Maybe their changes are epigenetic in nature. Ian Gear says, there are no wolves on Fenris. Jen says, except in Albion, where they're hero ravens for no reason. Dom says, Albion, where ninjas are too violent. I mean, I guess you're all getting that joke. I'm not. NOPE, nope. Hi, Mira, love your interviews with authors. Do you think you will be able to get an interview with Gav Thorpe? I have reached out to Gav Thorpe. If anybody knows Gav Thorpe, please tell him I'm a lovely human and we'll have a lovely chat. They might not have said it explicitly, says Jim, but Space Marines can get memories that way. Sorry, OBS is saying, oh, your camera's running out of battery. The other camera's not even working, OBS. Resume. Oh, have to lock my iPhone. Is that the secret to making this work? How does one even do that? Oh, maybe it is working. Let's try. Oh, yay! It's working. Ooh. Okay, good to know. That's a secret I didn't know before. They might not have said it explicitly, but Space Marines can get memories that way. They have a special organ for it. Why have we not come... Where's that written? Is that in the Codex? Let's see if it says how Space Marines can absorb brains by cannibalism. I suggest it doesn't. The physique of a Space Marine. Space Marines, are they good or bad? Oh, physicians, not physiques. I don't see anything in here in the index that would suggest. Google answer. We don't do that in this chat, Jason. It's far too easy. I want to see the lore on that. Jason's saying Space Marines can gain memories and information by consuming the flesh of sentient beings through their omophagia organ, a specialized organ called the Remembrancer. No, it's not just brains, clears up self-destruct. They can get the memories by eating any flesh. Just when you thought the Grimdark couldn't get any grosser, what is happening? Sergei has ordered the End and the Death to read again in their own language. I've already read it once in English. I've never read it yet. Def got to consider it as an investment for May. Yay, thank you, Molly. Budget suck. Oh, Alex and Robbie are showing off their unicorns, which you get if you're a Mirror Manga member. Big ups for a legit scientist. Yes, we also have another scientist. We've got a few scientists in the gang. And now it's ninja swords. Yes. We had Teenage Mutant. What did we have? Teenage Mutant something Turtles, but it wasn't ninjas. What was it? Ah, somebody help. Pew 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 cannibals, great, says Jason. The Blood Angels used to pass down memories from fallen comrades using it. Flesh eating is the mortificators' whole shtick, and they are loyalists. Alex, funny how the cannibal memory stuff doesn't come up that often. Interesting. That's so interesting. I don't think it's going to be in... That sounds far too specific to be in a codex. I'm just going to have a quick look. Space Marines. Actually, we can't do reading out of this on a general live because we're only reading this in membership chat. But I didn't know Space Marines can get shaken instead of scared. Learned that today. Space Marines may use rapid fire. Every Space Marine carries a replicating organ buried deep inside his chest. Another... Oh my god! It's true. It's true. Oh, holy moly. Okay. The source of a chapter's gene seed is its Space Marine brothers themselves. Every Space Marine carries a replicating organ buried deep inside his chest and another at the base of his throat. These progenoid organs absorb free DNA strands from the Space Marine's other implants and form them into germ cells. If a Space Marine dies, these replicating organs can be removed and the germ cells they contain used to grow fresh implants. If a Space Marine dies in battle, he can be replaced if either or both of his progenoid organs can be recovered, given a few years. But if he dies and his body is destroyed or lost, then his gene seed is too. But actually, I thought it said something about... Yes, no, it doesn't say anything about eating. I did know about the genes being eaten in that way. I just thought because there was a progenoid organ in the throat, maybe they were going to say you can eat. And there are librarian Space Marines, which is very cool. Which are the special warp ones, but we can't really talk about in the chat. So where am I now in Deliverance Lost? Omegon is saying, oh yeah, this is like the death call. Omegon released his hold and began to pace, then stopped himself, annoyed by the display of agitation. Reaching a decision, he fixed Uthrin Rax with a hard stare. The Order of the Dragon is ready to move, said the Primarch. Give us the word and we will act, replied Eunice Rax. Good, said Omegon. We have delayed long enough. It is time to begin the final phase of the project. I will organise a little testing skirmish for our Raven Guard friends while you begin the coup. Corax will have his eye fixed on Ravendelve, and he will not see your preparations until it's too late. So I'm going to try and finish that book this evening after I've done some other life admin-y bits. But yes, today has been very hard, and it's quite nice to have. In moments like this, it's good to understand how the Grimdark can act like a soul sponge to mop up. Reading a book when you have internal feelings, sleeplessness and fear going through you is a good shout. I don't think I want to make a habit of it in case I become an unbalanced, crazy person, but yes, the Grimdark can hide the shadows of your mind, because ain't nothing darker than the Grimdark. Tony says, been in law from the beginning, one of the organs grown and grafted during marinification process. Yes, Tony, I was looking for facts about if you're a Space Marine, you can eat a bit of another Space Marine and get their memories. Blood Angels are especially good at it, says Sergei. Molly says, I'm an artist, not a scientist. That's very Star Trek of us. Numbers are hard, colours are easy. We love artists too. You can look it up on Lexicanum. There is an article called Creation of a Space Marine. Jason says, well, that's just horrible. Tony says, very Bond, shaken, not stirred. Jen says, I need to go eat, have fun all. And Boato says, nothing like reading about a gruesome battle after a long day. Yes, it's been an interminably long day with its own battles. And I think we've done a good thing by doing some reading rather than weeping. Reading, weeping. Okay, well, thanks for joining me for this super short impromptu unboxing. And yeah, I will see you on Sunday, or yeah, sooner if you check out one of my other videos. If you're new here, please do a like and subscribe. Please consider a Mirror Manga membership, or buying a t-shirt, or doing all the things that real YouTubers should do. Aztec, so lovely to see you. So love to see you as well, Tony. And Robbie popped in, Dom, Alex, Jamaldus. Lots of the crew are here. Sergey, Molly, lovely to hear from you. Jen, of course. Jen's gone to eat. Jason, thanks for joining in the chat. El Buato, lovely to see you too. Dom, Elf Kicker. Lovely, lovely. And David Cook, Yinger. Thanks all for joining and have a lovely rest of your evening. Jim says, so close to 10k subs now. It's so funny, but it slowed right down. And after the live on Sunday, I lost 3 subscribers. So let's see what happens. Good night. Oh, nope. Yes, good night. Thank you for your chats. And good night, Sergey. I hope everyone has a restful and relaxing evening because we all deserve joy. And bad moments should only last a moment. Okay. Bye. Bye, Grimdark Buddy.